So this video here threw me for a loop. Fox has been just the cornerstone of the right-wing movement for the past, since they came on air, since I guess 1996 it's been. And their political project is obvious. Support the establishment Republicans, go against the Democratic Party and the left. And it's interesting to see what happens in the wake of a disaster that was clearly caused by their ideology and their preferred policies. So, of course, what I'm referring to is the East Palestine train derailment and chemical fire, which poisoned a whole area, all these fish. Literally tens of thousands of animals are now dead after the train derailment. People were experiencing all sorts of symptoms, headache, sore throat, The stuff that was released into the atmosphere is super toxic, okay? So, Fox, this is a segment that they did, after the East Palestine train derailment. And listen to what they say, man. This is wild.
I would say is I knew nothing about these derailment numbers. I'm stunned by it. That we have thousands of derailments all the time, and how costly it is, and how they're not kept up, and maybe the regulation needs to be there. I think there needs to be there's a widespread sentiment to have a look at the whole rail industry, what the lobbyists are doing, and what the actual. I heard there were 3 people on that train of how many cars? 20 of which had chemicals in it.
Somebody.
Well, I'll be, if it's not my chickens coming home to roost. Man, that's amazing. That's amazing. Now, by the way, they will go right back tomorrow to supporting all the same politicians that will deregulate further. They will not skip a beat. They will go right back to supporting the billionaire-backed politicians, the corporate-backed politicians, the lobbyist-backed politicians. But here we have a moment. It's almost like, enlightenment moment of like, maybe we do need regulations. Maybe every single thing we've spewed on this topic for decades now is complete and utter garbage. The saying that they always use, red tape, we're just cutting red tape. In other words, trying to portray it as unnecessary regulations, nefarious regulations that just get in the way of the free market and upstanding businesses. And what you're learning in this instance is maybe many regulations are totally necessary. And it is for safety and public health. And it's common sense and reason and logic that leads you to support certain regulations. Like, for example, we shouldn't be using Civil War era technology on our current trains. Just maybe. We have safer alternatives, electronic braking, so maybe we should use that. But that would cost the rail companies money, and they want to pinch every penny for the bottom line. And so they had their lobbyists kill it. Trump got rid of that regulation. They even bring up the thing about there was only 3 people on this train. Yeah, and they want it to be 1 person. So for them to have this enlightenment moment, on the one hand, I want to say, well, thank you for now acknowledging the obvious and admitting everything that you've said about this previously is wrong. But then on the other hand, I want to not give them any credit at all because, again, they're going to go right back to supporting all the people that are going to give us more deregulation. Look, the Democrats are not good on this stuff, but they are definitely better than Republicans. It was Obama who put into place that rule that we need to get the electronic brakes on these trains. And then Trump rolled it back. Now, Obama also allowed these particular chemicals to be not in the highest level of toxic chemical categorization. So that was deregulation on his part, which was bad, right? But at least he did the brake rule thing, and then that was scrapped by Trump and the Republicans. Now, are they going to tell you that part of it? I don't know. Let's see. I don't know what they say in the rest of this clip. Let's find out.
At the front, somebody at the back, and
does that blow you away? I mean, I know nothing about the business. I'm more than transparent about that. But I just think we got to look at this. And as Governor DeWine said, I had no idea this toxic chemicals were coming through these towns. Well, at least we should be alerted to it. I think that's a reasonable request.
Well, and Pete Buttigieg even said we have thousands of these train derailments quite often, and that is alarming. This could happen to your town.
Yeah, listen, we mentioned when I was a reporter back in the day, I used to go to train derailments in Kansas all the time. They oftentimes just were carting wheat to market and not poisonous chemicals, but they can also update, the systems, how the trains stop, how the trains go. All that stuff could be updated.
I mean, it is quite a moment. These people are not particularly ideological or intelligent. They just know their job is like rah-rah Republicans, boo-boo Democrats. But they're effectively undermining the entire mission of Fox News from day one in 1996. Like, they've been relentless. Cut taxes for the wealthy, deregulate business, let them do what they want, free market, unfettered, laissez-faire capitalism. This is what they're all about. And then now, chickens are coming home to roost, and they're like, oh, well, that sucks. Maybe that shouldn't be the case. That's right. Maybe that shouldn't be the case. And by the way, that should make you very, very curious about other industries as well. Because it's the same kind of deregulation that led to the subprime mortgage crisis and the Great Recession in 2008. You got rid of Glass-Steagall with the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act. So there used to be a separation between investment banking and commercial banking. You got rid of that separation. We had casino capitalism. And then everything went belly up eventually. Regulations are necessary. Now, look, can you point to a couple regulations here and there where it's like, yeah, that doesn't make sense? Onerous regulations, like, for example, my dad, back when he was alive, used to own a laundromat, and one time some local government officials came in and forced him to change the color of the paint on the building on the outside. Why? I don't know. They didn't like the color or something. And it's like, well, on that kind of piss off. Like, I don't care if you don't like it. It's not your business. It's his business, and he's not hurting anybody by having it a particular color. And so, yeah, that's like, okay, maybe get rid of that red tape, and that actually is red tape. But so many of the regulations on the books are there for a reason. It's not all what I just described, which is like unnecessary and burdensome. Some of it is very, very necessary. And so it's kind of a light bulb moment for the Fox News cast. But like I said, don't give them too much credit. They're going to go right back to harping away on the usual suspects and to defending the same politicians they always defend and defending the policy agenda they always defend. Funny enough, what they're doing here, this is a direct shot at neoliberalism. The era that Ronald Reagan ushered in. The era of big government is over, as Bill Clinton said. Scariest words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. That's what Ronald Reagan said. Well, it turns out this modern era, this neoliberal era, has been a disaster for everybody. And it turns out it was FDR and the New Dealers who were correct. That the government plays a vital and crucial role in our economy and our society, and we need to embrace that. This is a moment of clarity where they realize it. Whoa, this is crazy. Deregulation stuff is crazy. What's going on here? Now, keep that energy up, but I won't hold my breath for that. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take $0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.